Hello everyone and welcome back to Planet Zoo. It's been a hot minute since we had a video for Planet Zoo on the channel here, so I wanted to get something out to you guys. I apologize, I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'll do my best to make this commentary nice for you guys. The beginning of the video here, as usual, will be the speed build portion, but make sure to stick around to the end and I'll show you guys some nice cinematic shots of the habitat that we created in today's video. So initially, I wanted to create a habitat to showcase some of the new exciting mods that have come to Planet Zoo. If you guys are unaware, the modding community for Planet Zoo has been exploding, and there are a lot of awesome mods, including entirely new animals that have been added onto the Nexus mods page. I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to pick up some of these mods yourself. They're super easy to add, and it adds completely new animals to the game. So I wanted to create a habitat to showcase off some of these animals. So if you like what you see, make sure to hit the like button, smash it up for me, and if you're not a subscriber here already, please do consider subscribing, because this is essentially going to turn into a little mini series. The reason being is, you guys know me, I get a bit carried away. I was like, I'm gonna build one habitat, and I'll have a couple animals in it and whatnot, and then I just realized that I made this massive habitat. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to divide the building up into a few different episodes for you guys here. So this is the first episode of this little mini series. I'm not going to really call it a series, just a little habitat build, if you will. This is what we're calling Coyote Creek. So this portion of the build is called Coyote Creek, and you'll see why as the build goes on. But yeah, basically I started out creating this giant habitat, and I realized it's going to take me a long time to make it look the way I wanted. So yeah, we're going to do it step by step, piece by piece, and just have a nice way to roll out these mods for you guys. So the animals that I'm thinking of including in here are all Canadian animals, which, as I'm sure you guys are well aware, in the game we're very much lacking North American animals. I'm assuming that is the next DLC to come. It's either that or a European DLC next, because both of these regions are pretty lacking. I'd almost say that Europe is even more so. I don't even think we might have like one or two animals from Europe, but that's about it. But either way, the modding community has kind of stepped up and added in some animals that, fill these gaps in the Planet Zoo roster. I'm not going to go into too much detail as far as what animals I'm going to add to this zoo, but it is going to be a sort of Canadian-focused build. I know we have our Calgary Zoo series ongoing, and I know I haven't done much on that in the last while, and I do apologize. To all of you Planet Zoo fans that have stuck by me on the channel, I really do appreciate you guys, and it's been a challenge for me to get Planet Zoo videos out to you guys, because as I'm sure you're aware, if you play the game, it takes a really long time to get anything done in this game, especially when you're as neurotic and OCD as I am with, placement of trees and bushes and making sure all the scenery looks correct and everything like that. So my time and my scheduling just hasn't allowed me to produce too much Planet Zoo content for you guys, so I do apologize for that as usual. But I'm coming up on the end of my bachelor's degree program. I finish in, I believe it's December of this year, so I'm really nearing the end, and I appreciate you guys just kind of sticking with me while I finish this chapter of my life. Once the degree is finished and everything, my time opens back up, and I'll have more time to dedicate to YouTube and stuff like that. But as I've said already, I do appreciate you guys sticking by me. It's been a pleasure watching the channel grow and watching all your guys' comments and everything like that. So thanks to all of you guys. You really make all this happen for me. So like I said, my initial plans for this habitat kind of went out the window when I saw just how big I made this habitat. So I decided to start in just one of the back corners of the habitat. I got the idea by just looking at what mods I wanted to add, and the kind of the showpiece animals for this habitat are going to take a little bit more work as far as what I want to do for their sort of quote-unquote sections of this habitat. Basically, this is going to be one big habitat, similar to the way I did the African safari video, which is to date still my most popular video on this channel. You guys keep blowing that video up. I don't know how that video got onto the algorithm or whatever, but for whatever reason that video is just miles ahead of every other video I've ever produced, and it still does crazy numbers. So if you're here off of that African safari video, sound off in the comments and let me know that that's how you guys found my channel. And that's kind of the idea I want to go with this habitat, is just one giant habitat that encompasses a lot of different animals in it as well. So the coyote was a natural addition to this Canadian zoo habitat. I mean, coyotes are everywhere in Canada. They're kind of like a feral pest, if you will, but a very useful addition to the ecosystem, right? They're a scavenger, they're a predator, right? And they do a lot of the decomposition work, if you will, that like a jackal or a vulture would encompass in another area of the world. So I wanted to add the coyote first just because I want a few of them running around. And again, this is going to be an open concept habitat eventually, so they will be spread out. But I almost want to, you know, my style, right? I prefer to build larger habitats that are more like a nature preserve-esque kind of thing, right? Imagining that, you know, they've just essentially put a fence around a certain section of a wilderness, and that is where they're keeping these animals, right? I don't necessarily like to do an actual zoo in the traditional sense where, you know, it's small little habitats in a complex. And I mean, this is something we might do in the future, but I really lack creativity when it comes to building buildings and stuff like that. And I've always struggled with actually building things in this game, and any game for that matter, as you can see with me struggling with this bridge. But I digress. This habitat aims to follow suit in being more of like a nature preserve area. That's kind of what I'm going for here. Just one big habitat to include all of the modded animals that have been lacking from the base game, right? So I hope you guys enjoy it. You guys have seemed to really like the video I put out on Prehistoric Kingdom as well. And I gotta say that, you know, a lot of people are likening that to Planet Zoo, which is a very, very accurate representation. A lot of the things you can tell were just copied straight over from one game to the next. But a lot of things in Prehistoric Kingdom have been done really well, right? The one thing I found when building this habitat that I missed from Prehistoric Kingdom is the stretching of props, right? Like the ability to stretch rocks, right? Like I had to place hundreds of rocks in this habitat, whereas, you know, I might have got away with a tenth of that if I had been able to stretch the rocks like you do in Prehistoric Kingdom, right? So that's just one thing. Also, this bridge would have been a lot easier to build for somebody like myself if I was able to manipulate these wood pieces. But, you know, that's not a feature of Planet Zoo. It is on Prehistoric Kingdom. But what I'm saying is you guys liked that video, and I liked building in that game. So you can definitely count on more of that content coming through as well. The game is still only an alpha, so there's very limited things to do right now, and I don't really want to burn people out on it, and I don't want to get burned out on it as well until we hit more of like a developed stage of the game. So I will release a few more videos, but all in all, I'm going to wait for some more content to come out, wait for some things to be addressed, right? And being that it's so early in their development, obviously things are going to change and stuff like that as well. So I want to present it to you guys in a little bit more of a finished state. But either way, on Planet Zoo here, I aim to increase my output with these kind of things. We have so many projects on the go right now. I just kind of need to buckle down and build things, right? Schedule permitting, of course. I'd like to get a few more videos a week out to you guys. You guys have really shown a lot of good support for the shorts that I've done and everything, be it Ark as well as Planet Zoo, so I want to appreciate you guys checking those out. It's just a nice quick way for me to produce some content for you guys, hopefully give you some hints about the game or some tips and tricks that maybe you didn't know in the past, without me going crazy trying to maintain a schedule with everything else I have going on in life. So shorts have been a nice way for me to keep in touch with you guys. Hopefully you guys are taking stuff away from those series, because ultimately that's my goal, is to provide knowledge with them and help you guys either play the game easier or do things that you didn't think were possible in the past and stuff like that, right? So let me know what you guys think of the shorts. So far the viewing rate has been fantastic on them. They've been all getting a lot of views. I know that's part for the course with the way that the shorts program work, but either way, you know, the more people that see my content, I'm confident that we'll keep growing our little family here. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do Planet Zoo content. Prehistoric Kingdom is coming as well as our Ark content as well. I haven't forgot about Ark. We got more Ark stuff on the way. Genesis 2 is right around the corner, and you best believe I'll be covering that here on the channel as well. I already have a server picked out with me and my friends when that game goes live as well. So there's lots of stuff coming in the next while here on the channel, and I hope you guys will stick along for the ride as well. Yeah, so getting back to the video here, I wanted to create this little creek. I just had this picture in my mind of when I was a kid camping in the wilderness in British Columbia and Canada, and like you'd have these creeks that we'd go fishing in as kids and stuff like that, and there's always like this old wooden bridge, and you know, you'd sit off the edge of the bridge and just fish for like little minnows in the creek rather. And it was just such a cool part of my childhood that I wish I could recreate, right? Living in Thailand now, for those of you who don't know, I do miss a lot of the Canadian wilderness. Being out here in a tropical environment has its own charms and personalities, but I definitely miss Canadian nature. It's not quite the same, right? Like, I went camping out here in Thailand, and like there's snakes and lizards and giant spiders and crazy insects all over the place, you know what I mean? Whereas like in Canada, the only things you have to worry about are obviously the mosquitoes that are in every country on the planet, but we got big predators in Canada, you know, like people who aren't from Canada tend to fear bigger predators, but honestly I fear something like a poisonous spider or a snake a heck of a lot more than I do a bear, right? Because a bear, like, you can scare a bear away, and 9 times out of 10 you won't even have to scare it away. It'll hear you or smell you and just leave on its own accord, you know? Whereas like a snake or, you know, a spider or something, you know what I mean? Like, you can't scare it away. You can't see it coming. You can't hear it. You know, it's just, whoa, it's there. It bit me. Oh, I'm dead. You know? So camping has a very different charm out here than it does back home in Canada. So I miss Canadian camping, you know, fishing, hunting in certain hunting seasons as well. I am not a sport hunter. I hunt for food. But again, in saying that, I haven't done it in more than a decade, but I digress once again. I miss that whole culture of being in nature. I love living in the city like I do now. I live out here in Bangkok, but I really do miss that aspect of nature, and Canadian nature in particular. So that was kind of the inspiration that I went with this little habitat that we're building here, and this section for the Coyote was kind of, you know, me trying to recreate a scene from my childhood of being on the creek when we went camping and stuff like that. If any of you guys ever get a chance to visit British Columbia in Canada, go camping or go spend some time out there, you know, anywhere near the Rocky Mountains, be it Alberta side or British Columbia side, I hope you guys definitely go, right? Canada is well known for many different things, but I think our nature is truly the one aspect that sets us apart from other countries and whatnot. I think that Canadian nature is unrivaled. You can get similar looking places in Europe and stuff like that, but you just can't beat the Rocky Mountains, in my opinion. In my opinion, you know, you guys might have differing opinions, but that's just how I feel. I'm a little biased, obviously, growing up in Canada, but, you know, you go check it out for yourself and then let me know what you think, yeah? So either way, the next build on this habitat, I'm not going to give away what animal it is yet, but it is a much larger animal, a herd animal. So maybe that gives you a little bit of a hint. As far as I know, that'll be the next installment of this little mini series we got going on here. But I want to ask you guys, what series would you like to see more of in a higher frequency here on the channel? We have our Sombat Zoo, which is our Asian style zoo. We have a lot to do there now, especially with the new Southeast Asia pack that has just released. We have our Calgary Zoo, which is a remastered recreation of the Calgary Zoo, right, which is similar to what we're doing here, but obviously following more of the layout of the Calgary Zoo. We also have I don't think there's much else to go in our South American zoo, but I'd be open to starting a new project as well, more of like a traditional zoo with like, you know, zoo buildings and stuff like that. I guess our Calgary Zoo is kind of achieving that, but let me know what you guys want to see more of here on the channel anyway, be it Prehistoric Kingdom, more ARK videos. I do have some more ARK videos coming soon to you guys as well, both the Cabales as well as the modded series for Primal Fear as well. Again, I want to apologize to you guys for my upload schedule. I'm doing the absolute best I can, juggling a full-time job, full-time student, and making YouTube videos for you guys. This is not my job, right? YouTube, I don't make any money off this yet, right? We're getting close, but you know, it's not at the point where I even make any money off of it yet. So I'm miles and miles away from being able to have this as my income source. Will I ever hit it in the future? That's left to be seen. We'll have to take it one day at a time. But either way, I appreciate you guys kind of sticking by me in these times when I can't quite be reliable with my upload schedule. But in saying that, you guys have been a great family. I love seeing all you guys' comments. The contest we had for the 1,000 sub giveaway was a great success. I loved all your guys' participation in that event, and we will have more stuff like that in the future, but obviously we're not going to make a habit of it. But I think it was a great success overall. Congratulations to our winners. I say winners because we had a winner and then it turns out he already had the game pack, so we moved on to our second winner. So that was a bit strange, but ultimately I got the pack to him, and that actually delayed my purchase of the Southeast Asia pack because somehow Steam messed up and it registered that I already had it because I purchased it, but even though I purchased it as a gift. So it took me a little while to even unlock the pack for myself. So that's why there's been a bit of a delay getting you content for that as well. But I seem to have resolved all that now. So in the future, you'll have more vids coming your way. I want to say thank you to everyone who stayed with me through this crazy times, crazy schedules, and all the rest. I love all you guys so much, and be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.